Sup, it's your boy Big Reg coming to you once again from the shadow of the Big House in Ann Arbor, Michigan. This time bringing you the recap for Game 4 of the Michigan Wolverines 2021 football season. The Big Ten opener against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Holy smokes, this did not go the way we thought it would. Holy smokes, it was a tale of two halves. In the first half, the Michigan Wolverines looked like they were going to keep going and rolling. But the second half was a total shambles. A total shambles. Final score, Michigan 20, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights 13. I almost have to say, Michigan might not have won this game more than Rutgers lost this game. There's one stat, or I should say there's two stats that really tell the tale for me. The first stat is Rutgers 1 for 4 on fourth down conversions. That was pretty dumb of them to go for some of them fourth downs. And then, man, what am I doing tonight? I'm shook. Just like the Michigan Wolverines. I'm shook. I can't get into any kind of rhythm right now. I feel like Cade McNamara.
This is all good stuff. Keep this.
Rolling.
All good stuff.
Keep rolling.
I can't get into any kind of rhythm right now. I'm being serious.
Don't need to provide a full recap.
I know. Come on.
Don't do that.
All right, fine. I'll just say this. Cade McNamara started the game 8 for 11 in the first half for over 150 yards. Led the Michigan Wolverines to a 20-3 lead. In the second half, the Michigan Wolverines got shut out. 0 points. And then Cade McNamara went 1 for 5 passing. Rutgers outgained us 300-something yards to 200-something yards. It was a shambolic performance in the second half. It was only because of the defense finally getting a big play in the end, causing a turnover, and we finally sealed the deal and walked out of the Big House with a W. But man, oh man, it wasn't pretty. And it was a little bit disheartening, to tell you the truth. Tonight, joining me in this discussion of this Big Ten season opener, first, the Sith apprentice himself, producer JB.
There is no doubt in my mind that my hope in this team has dwindled to basically embers. I feel like I'm in Rogue One right now, where it's just everything's just falling apart. I don't know if that signal will get out. But yeah, go blue.
You ain't no Rogue One, man. You are full Anakin Skywalker. You have fully gone over to the dark side. Come on, man. You are fully in the squarehead camp now. I see it in your eyes. Next, though, joining us, I don't know how he made it back in time. He was on a snack run to get some comfort foods to ease his aching heart. The one, the only, nameless guest.
Yes, I look forward to breaking down this, I guess, moral gritty victory is what we're calling it.
Oh, man. This is all discombobulated. Holy smokes. Nothing is working right now. Wow. This really is like the Michigan Wolverines right now. I feel like the defense, well, after Josh Ross left with an injury, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just a little off right now. It's just a little off. Oh, finally joining us. Gosh, how to describe this next guest? He reads all the blogs and then regurgitates them for us. So in a way, he's doing us a great service. So we don't have to read them all. The purveyor of bootleg, he's like those bootleg movie DVD sellers. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. The one, the only, JC from Sunnyside.
Listen, the blogs say the goals are still in front of us. Okay, our goals are still in front of us with the beach. There are some positive takeaways. I think the concerns that we have are still the same concerns we had even when we where we're blowing teams out. But looking to get into it. I'm looking forward to getting into it with you all. But yeah, some concerns, but a little shook. But I think we're still in it. We're still in it.
JC from Sunnyside. Oh, he's bringing out all the old, sports cliches for tonight. So I raise my glass to that. We still have everything to play for. You know what I'm saying, guys? Our destiny is still in our hands. So I raise my glass to that. Oh, gentlemen, let me just start off the discussion with this. I thought we were doing, even though Rutgers, was stacking the box in the first half against the run, I thought Cade and the rest of the passing offense was doing a pretty good job. He got some long passing yards or completions to Eric All, Roman Wilson. I think Sanistrel even AJ Henning got one. Who else got one? He was even bringing in, Cornelius Johnson. He was spreading the ball all around. And it showed in the numbers. 8 for 11, like I said, over 150 yards, 20 points on the board for the Michigan Wolverines, despite the fact that they couldn't run the ball very well. I shouldn't say very well, but consistently. They couldn't run the ball consistently versus that Rutgers defense. So I was still feeling pretty good going into the half. But you know what I think? In my mind, the turning point in the passing game was after Rutgers made another dumb call to go for it on fourth down, and they didn't convert, and we got the ball back with like just less than a minute left in the second quarter. Remember, we drove it all the way down, and then it was 3rd and goal, and then Cade had not one but 2 open receivers, and he overthrew the pass to I can't even pronounce his name. Schoonemaker. And what should have been a touchdown.
Yeah.
Kind of, put a moment. Not what am I trying to say?
Yeah.
Like a emphatic, oomph on that first half to go up 24-3 going into halftime. It almost felt like we took the foot off the pedal just a little bit, and that gave Rutgers a little bit of hope. You know what I'm saying? Because for them, it almost felt like, we did something to stop Michigan. You know what I'm saying? And I think after that point, I don't know, Cade was not the same passer. So that for me was the turning point in the game.
Yeah, I want to piggyback off of that. That was the first of his many bad passing. I thought prior to that, he actually performed well as a passer. A lot of speed in space, good calls, good catches, good run after the catches. I mean, good performance by Cade, but he missed a lot of throws even after that first big miss in the end zone. And his second half, I thought, was poor, but partly, and this is one of my big points and beefs and concerns now, is I just didn't like the way the play calls went. I think it started to become clear that Rutgers made the adjustments and their defense was shutting down the run to a point where putting Cade in those spots, he just got tighter and tighter. And he wasn't even having a good day at that point in the second half to begin with. And it just became a disaster.
There's clearly issues with the offensive play calling on this team. You cannot go to 20 points in the first half and then get 0 on Rutgers in the second half. And now my thesis is that, one, Josh Gaddis / Harbaugh / Sharon Moore, I don't know who's calling the plays right now, but it's clearly a mismanaged effort. And because of that confusion, it's causing these players a lack of comfort in being able to know what's going to happen. I mean, 4th and 1. We go for it against Northern Illinois, but with Rutgers, nope, not even going to try it. Not even going to, be able to do that, even though we're up, and still won't try it. And you wonder why the players then start to have hesitations in what's going on. Cade McNamara needs to be benched. I don't have any confidence in him after this game at all. He cannot make the throws. He cannot make the decisions. I actually say start JJ McCarthy. Even if he makes mistakes, who cares? He's learning from it, and he has an opportunity. And maybe make Cade actually sit down and think about what he wants from this team, because he is not stepping up. He's not doing. Second of all, I mean, if you're going to call a QB keeper, don't you need to call a QB keeper earlier in the actual football series to actually have the defense respect that the QB will actually run with the ball? Oh, I can't. There's just too many. There's just too many. And the defense is it's a bend don't break, and I can understand that. But what happened to the aggressiveness of this defense? Like, we are just only rushing 4 players at any time, and we are not putting any pressure on them whatsoever. The fact that Vidral, I think Vidral was like almost like the second. Let me look at the stats here. He was the second most yardage for runners. He ran for 11 carries, 46 yards for an average of 4.2. That's actually like better than some of our running backs that are on there. You can't have a QB running 11 times and not being punished for that. What is that? What is that? That's impossible. Fire Harbaugh.
Wow, producer JB taking up his time and maybe a little bit of Squarehead's time. Oh, speaking of Squarehead, listen, I think everybody, all the Wolverines, after their first drive, 17 play, looked like the Michigan Wolverines from the first 3 games. We were sitting good, feeling good. This looked like it was going to be 42 to maybe 13. And then Cade kind of rode off that a little bit, right? So all that running, I think, set up the pass, which allowed him to make some completions to Eric All, Cornelius, and they were wide open, right? So like, there's no way any quarterback should have missed those throws, wide open. But then when we needed Cade to step up because the run was being stuffed, putting 8 in the box, they knew that if they could shut down the run, Cade wouldn't be able to show up. And they were absolutely right. Cade could not carry this team for a little bit. The throws just looked awful. He couldn't hit AJ Henning on that hitch route, right? It's a easy college level pass, right? 10 yards, and he throws it into the ground. Can't hit the wide open tight end over the middle. Just play after play after play. And I do think that I have some concerns about the play calling, like producer JB said. The variety of runs, right? If the run in the middle is not working, use Corn's speed. And the one time in the second half they used his speed to run it to the outside, they got 10 yards. Why not do that? Utilize the strengths of your players. Having said that, there are some positives. I mean, I think the defense, they were exhausted, right? But still, they were able to come up with the big plays when it mattered most. David Ojabo, just got to say, the guy that I called out two games ago, again, showed up with the strip fumble, won us the game. The defensive line, they got to get in there a little bit. I'm going to say Mozzie Smith, even though he's taking up 2 blockers, he's got to step up a little more and show up in the stat sheet. So, yeah, I mean, there are some positives, but I think there are some concerns.
Well, yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. But joining us, finally, this is the man that is working to change it from maize and blue to miserable and blue. The one, the only, Mr. Squarehead.
I am so glad that I made it. And I could just tell you guys are just basically talking about everything that I said about this team for the last 3 weeks. The play calling is atrocious. We could not pass the ball when we needed to. And this defense is suspect. We got utterly dominated the second half. Dominated. We didn't win this game. We were lucky. We were lucky to get away with the win. The way Rutgers was playing, if there was about 10 more minutes in this game, we would have lost. And that missed field goal, that 29-yard missed field goal, I think that really killed their momentum. If they had made that, I don't think we come out with the win. The only positive of this game is that we actually won the game. That's it. No positives whatsoever. This is why I told you the first 3 games we had to mix in the pass. Like JC from Sunnyside said, those wide open passes that Cade could not hit, those are timing plays. That's what you practice game speed against subpar defenses the first 3 games of the season. The head of the snake must be gone. Fire Harbaugh. Take a drink.
That's 2 drinks if you're counting, because there's the head of the snake and then Fire Harbaugh. Well, I said it even before we started taping. These are the kind of games where, you know, I just gotta take my medicine. What can I say? What can I say? The Michigan Wolverines did not put on the field, anything to refute any of those things, whether it was the coaching or the execution by the players. I thought another point where that just really disappointed me in the game was on 3rd and 1 in the second half when Michigan got stuffed. Do you guys remember that play? We did 3 and out, and then it was 3rd and 1, and Michigan got stuffed, and they actually took a loss on the play, and we had to punt it again. And Sharon Moore was ripping into the offensive line. Come on, man! You guys got hit in the mouth, and you're just gonna take it like that. And then I was hoping that would fire them up after that point, but there was no resurgence even after that. So that was very disappointing to see. Just offensively, we had no giddy up and go. Like I said, once we missed that one surefire touchdown to end the half, that would have just put, I think, the nail in the coffin for Rutgers. And I almost hate to say it, but if it weren't for Rutgers being Rutgers, we would have lost. Missed field goal for them, the fumble for them, the penalties that they had, the failure to execute on the fourth down plays. So they did a lot of things, that were just Rutgerish, and thank God for those Rutgerish things to happen. Otherwise, we would have lost this game. So as much as I'd like to say that, we came out with a victory. We really were given a victory on a silver platter by the RUTGERS Scarlet Knights. And so to that I say, thank you very much.
This game showed how much of a fraud Jim Harbaugh is.
Ooh, this is a new one.
He's a fraud. He doesn't know. I don't even think he's a good head coach. Those Stanford teams, the San Francisco team he took the Super Bowl, I think he had nothing to do with those teams. This guy's a fraud.
I just think of the play calling in the second half when we were up and we were trying to even run out the clock, and we have 4 wide receivers set, 1 back, and we're trying to run the ball out. They know this. They stack the line still, so there's 7 defenders, maybe sometimes 8 defenders in the box, and we're thinking that we can run the ball like that. Like, that's how almost idiotic that play calling did towards the end of the game. If you're trying to run out the clock, have a heavy set, 2 tight end, 1 wide receiver. Like, I don't understand. What's the point of that when you have a line that's been stopping you consistently to have mismatch of numbers that happens on there? Like, that is incompetence in play calling. And I'm calling the coaches out for this. If it's Sharon Moore, if it's Josh Gaddis, if it's Jim Harbaugh himself, I don't care. That is idiotic, and that needs to go. Like, it's just, I was sitting in the stands, I was surrounded by Michigan faithful, and we're all being like, what the heck is going on right now? Like, who's calling the plays? And it's just idiotic.
Oh, this just goes to prove the old adage. The Sith always come in twos. Clearly the Sith Lord and his apprentice, and the apprentice has finally shown himself. So we raise our glass to Darth Maul, a.k.a. producer JB.
Just a couple quick comments on these. I as I watched the second half wheels fall off, I was actually starting to think this could be the last I'm watching of the Harbaugh era. It was crossing my mind because the momentum, nobody could deny. You heard the boo birds out there, okay? We saw what was happening. Cade couldn't make a throw. The play calling was evident to all that it was stale and bad, and it's Gaddis. It's Gaddis. And they dropped this game after this kind of a start and all the trials and tribulations that Harbs has been under. I thought, man, if you're not going to put JJ now, you're never going to have a chance to. That was literally like, this might be your last and only chance to save your career, at least at Michigan. Get the JJ in. But somehow we eked out this victory. And one silver lining, if you want to look for anything, I actually did expect our corners to get burned maybe a little bit more this game. They didn't, very small consolation. And there were upsets today. So if you want to look around the league, Michigan, it's going to happen. It is college football, small consolation again, but there were other big dogs that were toppled, and Michigan fights for one more day, I guess, another week.
Oh, come on. Square It comes out and says a small takeaway or small positive is that we won the game. That's huge. We won the game. We pulled it out, right?
Pulled it out against Rutgers. Come on, let's talk about the
Rutgers is good.
Against.
They're better. They're better than everybody thinks they are, and every championship run will have moments where you're, have a nail biter, right?
Did you really just say championship run?
I'm just saying, generally speaking, every championship run, they're gonna have nail biters, right? So look at Clemson. They lost to Colorado State today, or NC State. You're gonna run into tough games, even though you're favored by like 18 or 19 points. I'm not saying they had a great game today. We're 4-0. I think the loss of Josh Ross did hurt our defense. He was stuffing the run. He was stuffing the zone read. And after he went out, they were just gashing us with the zone read.
Didn't Rutgers have some key players out as well? Didn't they have someone on their defense, one of their main guys out?
Yeah, which further accentuates my concern with Cade, but I'm not talking about my concerns anymore. I'm talking about some of the positives.
There were no positives.
So Ross was lights out until he got hurt. Another guy that's going to be I think a superstar, Junior Colson, true freshman. I like him. I like the way he plays. Just keep an eye on him next year, 2 years from now. I can see him All-American.
Didn't you also predict a breakout player that doesn't even start anymore?
Well, because we have guys like Junior Colson, who is just amazing.
Very good.
You know?
Very good point. Very good point. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why the play calling was atrocious and why Jim Harbaugh did not replace Cade. I'll tell you why. Because Jim Harbaugh is a moron and he just has no faith in Cade and his abilities. And he's such a moron and stubborn that he's not willing to see it and admit it and put in JJ. Because in Jim Harbaugh's mind, he's sticking with Cade no matter what. That's exactly why we kept trying to run the ball in the second half when we couldn't. Yeah, sure, Gaddis is the offensive coordinator, but the head of the snake is the one to blame. Take a drink. Let's get rid of the head of the snake, and changes will come, my friends. Changes will come.
Look, we still have to understand that before the game, we were one of like 3 teams who had 0 turnovers. No turnovers again this game. So, you know, as much as we have areas to improve, we're not making any kind of like fatal mistakes, right? We're bending, but we're not breaking. We're bending, but not breaking.
Oof, I'm telling you. JC from Sunnyside, I'm going to raise my glass to you for coming out with all, just like going through the entire canon of coach speak. I love it. I love it. Bend but don't break. We still have everything to play for. I love it. Oh, this is the kind of revitalization we're going to need going into next week. So I raise my glass to that.
There is coach speak, and then there's actually playing that speaks for itself. And
wow,
this first quarter, I felt actually pretty good. I felt like we're moving the ball. I felt like even on defense, we're very bend but not break, but still kind of like doing things. And then as quarters went by, my faith in this team was very, very shaky. Towards even the end, when we were trying to hold on to a 7-point lead because the Rutgers team missed a field goal that should have been automatic, like that's unacceptable for the beginning of the Big Ten season. If you want to make an impression and if you want to, quote, have this championship mindset that JC from Sunnyside is alluding to, this was not a championship team, nor was it a second half that deserves anything close to being a championship. This team is in serious need of almost like looking at themselves from the coaching aspect and realizing what they can and cannot do and accentuating that. I feel bad for these players now. I actually feel bad for these players. I don't think there's leadership that's at the top that is really, really, really solid.
That's
championship teams are not worried about winning pretty. There's no pretty on the scoreboard, as our coach Harbaugh said today, right? It's all about better today than we were yesterday, better tomorrow than we were today, right? That's what it's all about.
Were they better in the second and third quarter than the first quarter?
No.
Were they better in the fourth quarter than the third quarter?
Yes, in the fourth quarter they were better than the third quarter.
So let's be better tomorrow. Better tomorrow than we were.
They got a first down in the fourth quarter.
What I take solace in, because we could use a little bit of solace at this juncture, maybe, okay, just to pivot just a tad, is we did look different and better in the first half, okay? And I mean, even down to the play calling. We saw some of those pass plays that were drawn up, good decisions were made, good throws were made, guys were wide open, speed and space, big chunks. But I feel like we just got that all too familiar look in complacency, conservatism, whatever you want to call it, stubbornness, pound, when it wasn't there. Then things are getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and that's not when Cade can deliver. When things are a little bit more rolling, he might be able to execute better. Coaches did not put him in a good spot in that second half. We need to kind of play first half football all the way through if we learned anything today against Whiskey and against everybody else.
For me, it was just like first half Cade was the Cade from last year that rallied us from 17 down, that kept his composure, through all the overtimes and won us the game versus Rutgers and Piscataway and Shebo. You know what I mean? First half. But then, like I said, I don't know, maybe he was dwelling too much on that missed touchdown opportunity, But second half Cade, it looked like he had zero mojo. You know what I'm saying? Like he had zero confidence in the reads he was making and the throws he was making. And then the entire offense just got discombobulated. You know what I mean? And then it was like, I don't know if which came first, but I think with all that, then it kind of led to like, what was happening with the play calling. You know what I mean? Because once somebody starts struggling that badly, it kind of I can't imagine how it doesn't affect the play calling. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what half a dozen of one and six of the other, but it was just like a continuous loop of spiraling downward. You know what I'm saying? And that for me was the disappointment of the second half. That we couldn't run ship. Yeah, you're gonna in every game you're gonna have a shaky moment, or a shaky period. But how do you respond to that shaky period? You know what I'm saying? And the offense just could not get out of that funk in the second half. And thank God the defense was able to make at least a couple plays to pull this game out for us. So I raised my glass to the defense.
I mean, going to Cade, like, I don't remember a throw, not just in today's game, but in any game that we're like, wow, that was a great throw. Like to a tight window. I just can't recall a throw like that. He's there to manage the game. I get it. And, it's unfortunate because, like, at halftime, like, I was very confident, and all I was doing is doing the math of, like, how can we get to the number where my prediction can come true, to the 41-16. I was like, well, Michigan needs 3 touchdowns, and then, the Scarlet Knights need a touchdown and a field goal. But then Cade just ruined all that.
Whoa. Yeah, but I don't think it was ever in the game plan or the season, overall strategy for Cade McNamara to be Aaron Rodgers for us or Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? It was always supposed to be, we're going to run the ball, and then that's going to open up the passing game for us. And when those passes are open, he's got to hit them. I think that's what was laid out to be the path to victory for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think we were ever counting on Cade to become, a dark horse Heisman candidate.
But don't you think he became a little bit, well, not a little bit, kind of incompetent in the second half? And to the point,
I'm saying like the standard. I shouldn't say standard. That's the wrong way to put it. Sorry. What we need from Cade is for him, when dudes are open, to make the right read, to go through your progression, make the right read, hit the open receiver in stride, boom, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Basically stuff he was doing in the first half. But in the second half, he couldn't do anything. There was not anything he could do, no matter what kind of passing play was called. I mean, 1 for 5 says it all. You know what I mean? And
but you don't think
reason he only had 5 was because we kept doing 3 and outs. We went 3 and out, I think, like the first 3 or 4 possessions. You know what I'm saying?
If that's all
time
you're
of possession
asking,
like this to this.
if that's all you're asking for from your quarterback, why is Cade the starter and not JJ? JJ can't manage an offense like that, and also the fact that he does have more of an explosive arm that we could tap into when we need to. And he's more. To me, it seems like he's a little bit more athletic than Cade. So if all you're going to do is ask your quarterback to manage and make reasonable throws, why does Cade start over JJ? Like, what does he bring that is so much better that he starts and JJ doesn't even see the field in this game, especially in the second half when Cade looked like he didn't even know what to do?
I agree. Like
Yeah.
there is moments in this game and also within the season so far where I question who is actually calling anything. Like who's saying that
What?
Cade is better than JJ or JJ's not good enough to overtake Cade. I question why in the second half, even in any game that we have so far, if you're not having success with running the ball and you're still running it, but where's the play action pass? Didn't we call for that to have happen in this game to see whether or not it could actually work? Where is
Yeah, but you got to
they're
be able
still
to run
doing
the
the
ball.
RPO? They're doing an RPO when the quarterback doesn't even run with the ball? Like, how do you do an RPO where it's only you putting the ball inside of the running back and just pulling it or giving it to him and not even running with? Like, this is the part where it doesn't make sense to me. And I honestly believe that Cade is getting worse because he has
Yeah.
no clue as to what this offensive scheme is all about. And
Yeah, but that's running RPO though.
oh my gosh, are you kidding me right now?
No.
Your RPO doesn't mean that the quarterback runs.
What? They're not running RPO. They didn't run a lot of RPO.
Fine. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with this offensive play calling. Done with it.
One struggling win.
You
and
got
we're
him,
falling
Reg.
apart. And we're falling apart here. We won the game, and we're falling apart, and we're all probably acting like Donovan Edwards.
Hey, hold on. Not all of us. I told you guys the past 3 wins didn't mean anything. All you guys are talking about 300 plus yards rushing every game. Our defense is getting better every single game. Come on. I told you guys it's all smoke and mirrors until we actually get into the Big Ten season and start playing some real teams. I told you guys this was going to happen. And now you guys are coming here and saying, "Oh, we're in trouble." Come on, man. Stop. You guys stay on the bandwagon. Stay on the bandwagon. Tell us that we have hope, great hope. This is a different team. Jim Harbaugh has hired all these new coaches. I'm going to be very cautiously optimistic, but I'm telling you guys, don't get too overhyped. This is the same story, different season. We'll see what happens next week against Whiskey.
Today was a sobering day, and so much hinges on quarterback play. And today's second half was bad. We have to say. So a legit criticism, okay, that'll come from all corners, not just Harbaugh haters, is if he sticks to this guy through the first half or even first quarter of the Whiskey game, and you see that kind of incompetence, oh man, all hell break loose. It's gonna be ugly and curtains because it's JJ time. You cannot let Cade go like that, missing open guys and looking discombobulated. But it's a week to week thing. Certain weeks, you grind it out. Other weeks, you put it together. Quarterback play is going to be critical, and Cade can't deliver. He got to go.
I gotta say, we gotta bring it up again. I think all of us are sulking today. Like Donovan Edwards was probably sulking on the sidelines, 2.9 yards a carry. Like he was like, "Get me in the game, coach." But yeah, I think Cade bears some responsibility. But I'm gonna say, what producer JB said, the play calling also. Like, where was the misdirections? Like we're running it up the gut, running it off tackle. Where's the misdirections? Like the last 3 games, we ran reverses to AJ Henning, to Wilson, but what happened to all that? I don't know. It was just a weird second half. I think, K was off his game, and definitely Gaddis was definitely off his game.
Don't you think that if that's occurring in the second half, and let's just say for argument's sake, Jim Harbaugh doesn't call the plays, the offensive plays, and Gaddis keeps calling these plays, don't you think the head of the snake? Go ahead. Don't you think the head of the snake should be like, Gaddis, hey, this ain't working. This ain't working. I'm the head of the snake. Go ahead. I'm the head of the snake. Gaddis, this ain't working. We got to make a change. Don't you think the head of the snake should be making those type of adjustments and calls during the game? What is this guy doing? He just stands there with his mouth agape, big-eyed, with his glasses on, like, oh, what's going on? Huh? What just happened? Oh, 3-0? Get out there, punt. Come on, man. The head of the snake needs to change in order to be changed, in order to have change for this team. This team will be the same story. We will pound the teams that we're supposed to pound. We will grind out some wins, like JC from Sunnyside said, in order to have a championship run. We'll have those grind out games. But when we get to the meat of the schedule, this will not cut it. We all know deep inside what is going to happen when we meet the big boys of the Big Ten. We all know it.
I think another silver lining is going into the game. A game like this could help us refocus, right? Going away, like, hey, we're not as good as we thought we were, and let's grind it out, right? Let's have a renewed focus for this run, and it's going to start at Whiskey, and we're going to need each other because we're not going to be at the big house. We're going to be at Whiskey. So this could be a little silver lining, a close win against Rutgers.
Where's my glass? The next or the latest coach speak. The refocusing. JC from Sunnyside does it again. I didn't think he could bring up any more, but yes, the refocusing is also a coach speak that's often used. Oh, gentlemen. Wow, what a difference a week makes. From week 1 to week 4, producer JB he went from the inspirational talk of little seeds of hope, rebellions. He's thrown that seed out and basically, I don't know, I think he's like, has his dog peeing on it now. He's like, forget this. He's fully on board the other way.
It's dead like Bijou is dead.
Huh?
My seeds of hope are dead like Bijou is dead.
Wow, that got dark real quick.
Wow.
Dead head callback. Wow, this is getting dark. Wowzers, you. Oh, man. Imagine what would have happened if we lost. Holy smokes. Imagine we didn't win. Imagine what the conversation would be like if it's this bad after we won. Holy smokes. Woo. I don't even think you know what? I would have let you guys do the recap without me because I don't know if I could have survived. You would have seen me drunk just in the middle of State Street, passed out somewhere. Ay.
Anyways, we got a couple comments from last time. Our boy Stevie C, he actually called it. He said that they still think Cade stays under 18 attempts. That was absolutely true. He called a close game. He said it was 34-20, but obviously we had our close game there. A new person, JW, commented and said, somehow I'm just noticing these videos. 77 of them, good stuff. And then also Kevin Kevin from SF saying props to producer JB and JC from Sunnyside for correctly forecasting the Rutgers field goal on their opening drive of the game. So,
what about Big Reg predicting a touchdown in Michigan's first drive? Holy smokes. People don't want to give me props. You know what? It's all right. I give myself props. I raise my glass to me for at least getting one thing right about this game.
Let's hear from the rest of you. What did you think about this game? Did it show that Michigan is either overhyped, underhyped? What's going on? Give us your thoughts on that right on this comment. Click to subscribe. Watch the video. We're looking for your responses. Ask any questions amongst the table as well to see if there's anything you want to know from any one of us. We're willing to talk about it. Please do that for us.
Oh, man. I don't know what else I can say about this victory. Why does this victory feel like a loss for so many people?
Because it is a loss.
Whoa! Last time I checked, it was still a W. Still a W. Last time I checked, we were still 1-0 in the Big Ten. And we're on our way to Indianapolis. The road to Indianapolis has not been closed off to Michigan. Not yet. Not yet. We mathematically still have a chance to victory. So
Biggest silver lining is between what you and JC. It's a tag team between you and JC. It's well, what you said with the play calling. If you get JJ in there, which can inspire seriously like better play call and better just offensive play and execution, you got a better team.
Oh, man. Oh, man. I see what you're doing. You're goading me into it. And you know what? I'm so drunk that I'm going to take the bait.
With that said,
enough of these drunken ramblings. I'm sorry. Does anybody else have anything final to put? This has been the most disjointed. I feel so discombobulated right now.
This is like
from the beginning to the end. Huh?
Good night.
But anyways, thanks for the win. Thanks for contributing. Thanks for being here. We're going to say go blue and see you on Wednesday.
Wow.
Blue.
So bad. Producer JB has to sign us out.
Go blue.
Go blue.
Go blue.